Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. Welcome to Mathematics with Shahab Yaqub. So now for the midterm, we are reviewing P1, and the first topic that we start with is coordinate geometry. And in coordinate geometry, we are focusing on equation of a line. That is what is written in the syllabus. So related to straight line, the first two things that are related with coordinate geometry and also this one is kind of related, but that would be more related with quadratics. So let's just focus on these two. Find the equation of a straight line given sufficient information. Interpret and use any of the forms in solving problems. It's about distances, gradients, midpoints, points of intersection, use of relationship between gradients of parallel and perpendicular lines. So let's get started with this. Let's look at this question. So now question is, all these questions are from the past papers. Just go through this particular question and I'll underline these. It says the coordinates of 2 points are such and such respectively. D is the midpoint of AB. A point C has coordinates xy, where x and y are variables. State the coordinates of D. That means it is so obvious that there is minimum calculation. It is given that CD square is 20. Write down an equation relating x and y. So there is a square over here. Let me just highlight it. CD square is 20. And then it further says it can be given that AC and BC are equal in length. That's the coordinate of C. Find an equation relating x and y and show that it can be simplified to this using the results from part 2 and part 3. Show all necessary working, find the possible values of coordinates of C. So let me do this question completely. First of all, part 1, do label the things. A is 1, 3. B is 9, negative 1. D is the midpoint. So it's the average of the x coordinates, it's the average of the y coordinates. So take these two, take the average, take these two, take the average. So 1 plus 9 divided by 2, that is like write down the step, and 3 plus negative 1 divided by 2. So D comes out to be 5. This comes out to be 2 over 2 is 1. That is the answer of part 1. It is given that CD square is 20. Now C is x comma y. D is 5 comma 1. CD square, basically distance formula. So CD is square root of x2 minus x1 whole square, y2 minus y1 whole square, the whole thing under root, that is CD. So square both sides, CD square, that is x minus 5 whole square, y minus 1 whole square, and this equals to 20. So this is equation number 1. Write it in a more neater manner, x minus 1 whole square, x minus 5 whole square. So this is 5. X minus 5 whole square, y minus 1 whole square is 20. This is equation number 1. This is part 2. It is given that AC and BC are equal in length. So let me just copy this thing and let me paste it over here. And let me add a page. So this is A, this is B, and we have C. So I have shifted B over here. This is C, x comma y. This is C, x comma y. They are equal in length. Therefore, x minus 1 whole square, y minus 3 whole square. This is x minus 9 whole square. This is y minus 1 whole square, square root, square root. This is equation number 2. Square both sides, the square root disappear. Now, one thing I want to emphasize a lot, that is this thing, that when we talk about all these things that show all the necessary working, so make sure that you guide the examiner. Remember these words. Guide the examiner throughout the process. Let the examiner know exactly what you're doing. So you're squaring both sides. Yes, it's very obvious. But why do you assume it to be the obvious? You have to show it. So therefore, this is x minus 1 whole square. This is y minus 3 whole square. This is x minus 9 whole square. This is y plus 1 whole square. Now open up the brackets. So this is x square minus 2x plus 1 and keep them intact. This is y square minus 6y plus 9. This is x square minus 18x plus 81. This is y square plus 2y plus 1. The very first thing that you observe is that x square cancels out, y square cancels out, and that is exactly in line with this. You have to prove this. It's a linear equation. All the square terms gets cancelled. Negative 2x, negative 6y, 9 plus 1 is 10. Over here, negative 18x plus 2y, 81 plus 1 is 82. That is the first thing. Let me divide by 2. So this is negative x, negative 3y. This is plus 5. This is negative 9x. This is y. This is 41. Make the numbers smaller and neater. And we want y alone and the others on the right. So therefore, negative 3y plus actually negative y is equals to 41 minus 5, and this is negative 9x plus x. Negative 4y, this difference is 36, this is negative 8x. Divide by 4, negative 4 actually. So y equals to, this is negative 9 plus 2x. Y is equals to 2x minus 9. Let me double check. All good. So now equation 1 was this thing. Equation 2 after simplification is this thing. I'll just write down the step. Solve 1 and 2 simultaneously. So even though this is considered something very obvious, but let me do this thing for you. So now y is equals to 2x minus 9. And the other equation is right here, x minus 5 whole square, y minus 1 whole square is 20. X minus 5 whole square, y minus 1 whole square is 20. These are two equations. So let me take y, insert in this place, and let me just simplify this much. So 2x minus 9, this is y, minus 1 whole square. This is 2x minus 10 whole square. This is 4x square minus 20x plus 100. So this is 4x square minus 20x plus 100. And then we have this thing, x square minus 10x plus 25. Minus 20 equals to 0. All good? So now x square plus 4x square, that is 5x square, negative 10, negative 20, negative 30x, 25, 125 minus 20, that is 105, is equals to 0 divided by 5. That is x square minus 6x plus 21 equals to 0. Factorize middle term. 7 threes are 21. And I think, let me just double check. So now over here, this is divide by 5, divide by 5. 5 into 20 is 100, and this is 21. That is all good. So why isn't it factorizing? Let me just double check. This is 3, 7 minus 3 and 5. And this is one of the equation. 5x squared minus 50x. Maybe I made a small mistake. So now, first of all, this is 220. This is 40. My bad. That was the mistake. So this is the mistake. That is why it was not factorizing. So therefore, this is 20, 20, this is 40. And this is, let me correct this is 40, this is 40, this is 50, this is negative 10x. Okay. And 7 and 3, now it will factorize. X squared minus 3x minus 7x plus 21 equals to 0. X bracket x minus 3 minus 7 bracket x minus 3 equals to 0. X minus 3, x minus 7 equals to 0. Therefore, let me just push this down. So therefore, x is positive 3, x is positive 7. What is y? 2x minus 9. But y is 2x minus 9. So y is 2 into 3 minus 9. 6 minus 9 is negative 3. And y is equals to 2 into 7 is 14. 14 minus 9, which is 5. Now, are they asking us coordinates or are they asking us values? They're asking us possible coordinates of C. So one of the possible coordinate, let's call it C1, that is 3, negative 3. The other possible coordinate is C2, that is 7, comma 5. So that is the answer, 3, negative 3, 7, 5. That is the answer. So I think one question of coordinate geometry is enough. Let me do just one and let me just do the setup. It says 3 points are such that B is the midpoint of AC. The coordinates of A are 2, comma M. So A is 2, comma M. The coordinate of B is n, comma negative 6, where M and N are constants. Find the coordinates of C. So B is the midpoint of this thing. So this is B. C is, let's call it x, comma y. So I'm working for part 1. B is the midpoint. That means let's take the average. So 2 and x, the average is n. And over here, m and y, the average is negative 6. So first equation, 2 plus x divided by 2 is n. That is the first one. They're asking us the coordinates of C. That means we need to make x the subject. We need to make y the subject. 2 plus x is 2n. X is 2n minus 2. Similarly, m plus y divided by 2, that is negative 6. M plus y is negative 12. Y is negative 12, negative m. So the coordinates of C is 2n minus 2, comma, negative 12, negative m. That is the coordinates of C. Let's double check. 2n minus 2, negative 12, negative m. Good. The line passes through C and is perpendicular to AB. Now, this is a good question. The line y is equals to x plus 1. It passes through C and is perpendicular to AB. This is A, this is B, and this is A is 2m n minus 6, 2m n negative 6. Gradient of AB, let me calculate it. This is m minus minus 6 divided by 2 minus n. That is m plus 6 over 2 minus n. This line passes through C. That means plug things where they belong. So this thing, that is the x coordinate, that should go over here. And this thing, the y coordinate, that should go over here. So let me write it properly. So minus 12 minus m, that is equals to 2n minus 2, that is the x coordinate plus 1. Simplify it, negative 12, negative m, that is 2n minus 1. Make something the subject, the constants, negative 12 plus 1 is 2n plus m. Therefore, 2n plus m is negative 11. That is equation number 1. Equation number 2, this line is perpendicular to AB. So line y is equals to x plus 1 is perpendicular to AB. Gradient of this line is 1. Gradient of AB is m plus 6 over 2 minus n. That means the two gradients should multiply to give you -1, the negative reciprocal thing. So let me just move ahead with this. Therefore, 1 into m plus 6, 2 minus n is equals to -1. So the other equation is m plus 6 is -1, 2 minus n. M plus 6 is n minus 2. That is equation 2. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2, this is equation 1, and this is equation 2. And then we solve it simultaneously. So this is equation 2. And then we solve simultaneously. So we get the value of m, we get the value of n. Is that what they're asking? Find the values of m and n. All good? All clear? Just double check the equation. That is one of gradient. That is one of the straight line. So far, so good. The next topic is circular measure. So let's get started with the circular measure thing. You already know the syllabus. You have already studied it. There are some formulas that we need. We need some exact trig ratios. We need sine rule, cosine rule, and so on. Sine, cos, tan, Pythagoras, sine rule, cosine rule. We need area half AB sine C. We need the formula arc length, that is r theta. Area is half r squared theta. The condition is 1. Theta is in radians. Theta is in radians. And make sure the calculator is in radian mode. And that is throughout this chapter of circular measure. So now let's read this question. I want you to go through this question first. Now the question says the diagram shows a sector AOB, which is part of a circle with center O. So let's underline it. AOB. So this is A, this is O, and then from O till B, we know that OA and OB are the same. That is the radii, 6 centimeter. Angle is 0.8 radians. The point C on OB is such that AC is perpendicular to OB. So we have AC that is perpendicular to OB. The arc CD is part of a circle with center O. The arc CD is part of a circle, center O. So these are concentric circles. So we have this thing over here. This one goes like this. And then there is another one. That one is like this. Okay, so there are two arcs over here. Find the area of the shaded region. Now think about it. If I have this thing, which is area of this triangle, subtract from it area of the sector, I'll get the area of the shaded region. So I think another approach could be find the area of this thing, subtract from it the segment, and then find this. That is good, but that is would be lengthy because first you have to find the area of this sector and then this sector and then find this. So I think we will take the easy approach. And that easy approach, first strategize. I need to use sine, cos, tan, whatever is applicable. So first of all, let me remove this one. That is not needed. So focus on this triangle. So that is triangle OAC. So triangle OAC, I'm focusing on this. Let me find the height, which is AC. So therefore, this is also 6 centimeters sine of 0.8 radians. That is AC divided by OA. AC divided by OA. Now we know that OA, this is also 6. OA is equals to OB equals to 6 centimeter. Therefore, AC is OA sine 0.8. That is 6 sine 0.8. I'm not using calculator at the moment. Now, the next thing, that is the base. Cosine of 0.8, that is OC divided by OA. OC is OA cosine 0.8, that is 6 cosine 0.8. This is the second thing. Now comes the third part. That is area of triangle, that is OAC, that is half into base, which is OC, into height, which is AC. All good? That is half into OC into AC. What is OC? 6 cosine 0.8. This is 6 sine 0.8 and 36 over 2, that is 18. Cosine 0.8 sine 0.8. Now I can use the calculator to preserve the accuracy. That is one thing. The next thing, the area of sector. So the name of the sector is OCD, sector OCD. That is area is half r square theta. R is 6. So this is half into 6 square into theta, which is 0.8. That is 18 into 0.8. This is centimeter square. This is centimeter square. Now the area of triangle is more, the area of sector is less. So therefore the difference is area of triangle minus area of sector. So this is 18 into 0.8 minus 18 into sine of 0.8 cosine of 0.8. And I can again take 18 common. So this is 0.8 minus sine of 0.8 into cosine of 0.8. Use the brackets excessively. It's better. And now at this point, I can use the calculator and I'll get this answer. So that answer is coming out to be 2.01. That is this question. Let's look at this question. Read the question. Now the question says, the diagram shows a cord going around a pulley and a pin. The pulley is modeled as a circle with center O, radius 5. So now this is center O, radius 5. This thing is the pulley. The thickness of the whole thing is the pulley. The thickness of the cord and the size of the pin can be neglected. That is pin P. The pin is situated 13 centimeter vertically below O. So let me highlight it. There is this radius. There is this radius 5 and 5. Then there is this thing that is 13 centimeter. And then we have this thing. This will come out to be 12 because this is an application of Pythagoras, the famous triangles 5, 12, 13. The points A and B on the circumference such that AP and BP are tangent. The 90-degree angles are there. The chord passes over the major arc of the circle and under the pin such that the chord is taut. Calculate the length of the chord. Now the strategy is this. Find this angle let's call it theta. This will be the same thing as this theta because these two triangles are congruent. And over here, let me use this angle as beta. Based upon beta, based upon 5, I'll be able to find this thing, which is the arc right over here. So that would be this thing like this. Okay. So up till here, we are able to find this. That's one strategy. And then these two things are pretty straightforward. This is 12. This is 12. So first of all, I can say 13 square, that is the hypotenuse, is equals to AP square plus 5 square. So 169, AP square 25, AP square 144, AP comes out to be 12. AP is the same thing as BP, is the same thing as 12. All good? Now focus on the triangle. Which triangle are we focusing on? OAP. Let's use anything. Tangent. Tangent of theta, that is 12 over 5. Theta tan inverse 12 over 5. Now let me grab my calculator. Make sure it's in the radian mode. You can also do the same. 12 divided by 5 is 2.4, and then tan inverse, and this comes out to be 1.1760. Theta is 1.1760, and this is 5 SF. Not bad. Uh, and then we have theta plus beta, that is equals to 2 pi radians. 2 times 1.1760 plus beta. Theta, and theta is 2 theta, that is 2 times this value. Is 2 times 3.142. So therefore, into 2 and minus 6.284, this comes out to be beta, comes out to be 3.9319, 3.93, 93198, that becomes 20. Again, 5SF. Now, what do I need? I need the length of the chord, so I need arc length. So arc length AB, major, that is 5 times 3.9320 multiplied by 5, that is 19.66. 19.66 centimeter. Now it's 4SF. And then what's the last thing? That is the length of the chord. The length of the chord is AP, BP, arc length, AB, that is 12 plus 12, and this is 19.66. So let me add it. 19.66 plus 12, that's 24. That is 43.66. And that comes out to be 43.7 centimeters. Correct to 3 is F. Have a good look at this question. And let me just double check. 43.7, all good. So now two topics are done and dusted. That is coordinate geometry and circular measure. So just acknowledge if this is all good, all clear. So let me remove right now trigonometry. So now that is considered a tough topic. And over here in trigonometry, this is what was done in the online class, just giving you a brief look. All the ratios, you should remember it, basic angle, all these properties, this particular property, positive angle, negative angle, quadrants, the relatives 30 and 150 and 210 and 330, all these are related. And then we talked about this thing, supplementary, complementary. This was the review of the whole thing. The transformation of graphs, sine, cos, tan, the quadrants that's seen over here. So a lot of things were done, and I've already shared the videos. So now over here, let's get started with trigonometry. Now read this question. Some people, they have messaged me related to trigonometric functions kind of thing. It's not a full-fledged detailed function, but the very, very basic thing. Now read it out. There are two questions over here. The first one, the function fx is defined by a plus b sine x. So this is equation, function doesn't make a difference. Y or just fx. This is fx is equals to a plus b sine x. This is like a simultaneous thing. F of pi by 6 is 4. We know that sine of pi by 6, that is sine of 30 degrees, this is half. And sine of pi by 2, sine of 90 degrees is 1. We'll be using this value. So now first thing first, that is f of pi by 6 is 4. That means 4 is a plus b times sine of pi by 6. Sine of pi by 6 is half. That is equation number 1. Now let's focus on equation number 2. F of pi by 2 is 3. 3 is equals to a plus b times sine of pi by 2. Sine of pi by 2 is 1. So now solve it simultaneously. And this is just multiply or just do the elimination thing. So therefore, 4 minus 3 is 1. A cancel. Half b minus b, that is negative half b. So therefore, b comes out to be negative 2. A plus b is 3. A plus negative 2 is 3. Therefore, a comes out to be 5. A is 5, b is negative 2. A is 5, b is negative 2. It's your choice how you want to solve it. Now let me just copy this, paste it on the next page, and now focus on the next one. What is this question all about? This can be reworded as this. I can reword this thing as that this is the function. The range is given as this. That means the maximum value is 10. The minimum value is negative 4. So this is that question about that amplitude thing. Remember that amplitude, that is the coefficient of trig function. And this is applicable for sine and cos. Of course, it's also applicable for tangent, but for tangent, you just have to be a little bit careful. That's why I'm just removing that thing from here. It's half the difference between maximum and minimum value. This is that question. So now y is equals to c plus d sine x. Let me write it like this. Y is equals to d sine x plus c. There are two things to consider. The first thing, you have to find the value of d. So now value of d is the amplitude in this question. So 10 and 4. So d is half the difference between 10 and positive 4, correct? Or negative 4. 10 minus 4, 14 over 2, that is 7. Now, if the graph was only of d sine x, the maximum value would be 7, the minimum value would be negative 7. But the graph is of d sine x plus c. So 7 plus c is becoming 10. Therefore, c comes out to be 3 because now the maximum value is this thing 10. How did it become 10? How many units did you take it up? You take it up 3 units. Double check. Minus c, minus 7 plus c is negative 4. Again, c is 3. So now d is 7, c is 3. D is 7 and C is 3. Okay, that thing is done. Let's move on. Another question of the same type. Read through it. The function f is such that fx is a plus b cos x. X lies between 0 and 2 pi. Again, we have to form two equations. The first equation, f of pi by 3 is 5. Second equation, f of pi is 11. Again, it's simultaneous. So therefore, fx is a plus b cosine x. Now, we are interested in cosine. Cosine of pi by 3, that is half. Cosine of pi, that is negative 1. So now the first equation is this. F of pi by 3 is 5. So therefore, 5 equals to a plus b times cosine of pi by 3. Cosine of pi by 3 is half. So write a half over here. This is equation 1. The next equation is this thing. 11 equals to a plus b times cos of pi. Cos of pi is negative 1. This is equation number 2. So this is exactly like the previous question, except the second part has a twist in it. So the previous one I solved it by elimination. This time I'll solve it by substitution. 5 into 2 is 2a plus b. So 10 minus 2a is equals to b. That is the first thing. 11 is equals to a minus b. Therefore, b is a minus 11. Equation 1 upgraded. Equation 2 upgraded. So therefore, 10 minus 2a is a minus 11. Negative 3a, negative 11, negative 10, that is negative 21. A comes out to be 7. And b is a minus 11. B is a minus 11. That is 7 minus 11. That comes out to be negative 4. So 7 and negative 4. 7 and negative 4. All good? Now the next part, let me copy it. Next page. Now what are they saying? Find the set of values of k for which the equation has no solution. Now this thing is related with graphical solution of equation. Now for this, what do I need? I need to sketch it first. So first sketch, then I'll be able to explain it to you. Now b is negative 4, a is 7. So 7 minus 4 cosine x. Fx is 7 minus 4 cosine x or minus 4 cosine x plus 7. Now if I draw this graph, and let me just draw the x-axis, y-axis, and let me draw a rough sketch on it. And this is from 0 till 2 pi. So 0 till 2 pi. Okay, so let me draw this thing like this. Okay, so now this one is negative 4. My bad. I always do the messed up thing with this thing. This is 4 cosine x. I have to draw it negative. So let me go back to the same color and like this. Okay, good enough. Okay, so now this is 4 over here. This is negative 4 over here. These are the 5 major points. There is no change in cycle. This is 2 pi. This is 0. Now, if I raise it up by 7 units, so 4 plus 7 is 11. So let me just pull this y-axis up. Okay. So this is 4, this is 6, this is 8, this is 10, and this is 12. And let me grab the pieces. So let's start with this. Copy, paste, change the color to green. And this is going from here 7 units up. So this is 2, this is 4, this is 6, this is 7 up till here. Okay, this thing is drawn. Now the next thing is just connecting the dots. Okay, let's take this. Okay, copy. Now that's how the green one, that is the graph of this thing, the whole thing. Okay, now let's label it. This -4 plus 7, this is 3. This is 4 plus 7, this is 11 over here. So the maximum value is 11. The minimum value is +3. Now, if I draw a line, let me draw a line like this. And if I take this line and I intersect anywhere, there will be solution of the equation. So this line is about this k. So basically, what they're asking is that the intersection of the trig graph with a horizontal line. How do I know it's a horizontal? Because this is y is equals to k, y parallel to x axis. So now this horizontal line is there. What is the last limit? If the value of k is more than 11, it won't intersect. If the value of k is less than 3, it won't intersect. That means this value of k should lie between, should be greater than 11. So k can be greater than 11. K can be lesser than 3. In this scenario, there will not be, there will be no intersection between green curve and the line. Got the idea? So that was kind of tricky. Basically, take this, move it around. There will be intersection in a lot of places, maybe 1 point of intersection, maybe 2 points of intersection, 2 points of intersection, but the last limit is 11. If it goes above 11, there is no intersection. If it goes below 11, there is no intersection. So now that was another question. Now, some people, they ask for a question like this. Go through this question. Now, we have done a lot of things and it's not even 1 hour as yet. Let me drink some water. So now let's look at this question. It says the equation of a curve is y is equals to 2 cosine x. Sketch the graph from -pi to +pi, stating the coordinates of the points of intersection with y-axis. Okay, so that is one thing that we need to do. So first of all, 2 cosine x. So now 2 cosine x -pi to +pi. Okay, so this one, this is one portion. I think that is good enough. This is positive pi, half a cycle on the right. This is 0. This is pi. This is negative pi. 2 cosine x. So the maximum value is 2. What else is there? Stating the coordinates. So state the coordinates. Part 1. That coordinate is 0, comma 2. Points P and Q lie on the curve, have x coordinates 1/3 pi and pi respectively. Find the length of PQ. Second part. X coordinate of P is pi by 3. X coordinate of Q is pi. Y coordinate of P is 2 cos pi by 3. Cos of pi by 3 is half, that is 2 into half, which comes out to be 1. And similarly, y coordinate of Q, 2 times cos of pi, that is 2 times -1, which comes out to be -2. Find the length of PQ correct to 1 dp. So P is pi by 3, comma 1. Q is pi, comma -2. And of course, I'll be needing some extra pages. So therefore, the magnitude of PQ, the distance formula, that is pi by 3 minus pi. Of course, you will plug in the value 3.142 divided by 3 minus 3.142. Square, don't forget the square, 1 minus minus 2 whole square under root, and use the calculator. Work in 4SF, final answer 3SF. The line through P and Q meets the x-axis at H and y-axis at K. Show that H is this and find the value of K. So now we have P and Q. Just copy this. This is P and Q. The story continues. And what do I need? I need the gradient of PQ. Gradient of PQ, that is 1 minus minus 2. Change in y divided by change in x, that is pi over 3 minus pi. So this is 3 divided by negative 2/3 pi. That is 3 divided by negative 2/3 pi. So this becomes negative 9 divided by 2 pi. That is the gradient. Y minus y1, coordinate geometry, back to action. Back in action, x minus x1. Y minus y1, choose any point. Since it's passing through both of them, I'll choose Q. So y minus minus 2 is equals to minus 9 over 2 pi x minus pi. Now there are two coordinates. One is h comma 0 and 0 comma k. So h is h comma 0 and k is 0 comma k. In other words, one of them is the x-intercept. Y coordinate is 0. So this is basically x-intercept, therefore y coordinate is 0. The next one is y-intercept, therefore x is 0. Got the idea? Now let's solve. So therefore, let me just draw a bracket. There was no need of simplifying this. So now when y is 0, 0 plus 2 is equals to minus 9 over 2 pi x minus pi. Cross multiply. So 2 into 2 pi is equals to minus 9x plus 9 pi. This is 4 pi is equals to minus 9x plus 9 pi. 4 minus 9, negative 5 pi is negative 9x. Make x the subject. Negative, negative cancel. 5 pi over 9. X is 5 pi over 9. This is all good, all clear. Find the value of k. In order to find the value of k, We make x coordinate equals to 0, y plus 2 is minus 9 over 2 pi, 0 minus pi. Open up the bracket, minus 9 over 2 pi into minus pi, minus minus cancel, pi cancel, that is negative 9, positive 9 over 2. And then this is y plus 2, therefore y is 9 over 2 minus 2. 4.5 minus 5, this is 5 over 2. So therefore, this x is basically your h. This x is basically your h. H is 5 pi over 9. And this y is basically your k. So k is 5 over 2. So the answer of k is 5 over 2. That's the graph. All good, all clear. Let's do some more questions. Something like this. This we have done in class also. No harm in doing it again. Y is equals to a plus b sine x. The diagram shows part of the graph. Find the values of the constants a and b. So now what we observe over here are 2 points. That is, one of them is this thing. This is 0 and negative 2. That is the first one. So now that is one thing. The coefficient of x is 1. That means one cycle in 360 degrees. Therefore, the maximum is occurring at 90 degrees, irrespective of whether it has been shifted up or down. So now the next value is this thing. So we are getting a 1, and that 1 is coming at 90 degrees. So now first solve this equation, just plug in the value. Y is equals to a plus b sine x. So the first point is 0 and minus 2. So this is 0 and negative 2, 0 for the x coordinate. So therefore, negative 2, a plus b sine of 0. Sine of 0 is 0. Therefore, a comes out to be 2. So now a is known. Rewrite it again. Y is equals to negative 2 plus b sine x. Now the next point is this thing, that at 90 degrees, we are getting 1. So 1, negative 2, b sine of 90 degrees. Whether you work in radians or degrees, it does not make any difference in this particular question. 1 is negative 2 plus b times 1. So therefore, b comes out to be 3. So b is 3, a is negative 2. Let's double check. B is 3, a is negative 2. All good? Now, something like this. You have to express this thing. Now, in this particular question, make a habit of writing. Let sine theta be written as S. Cosine theta is written as C. And then it's like expansion and then some identity and some algebra and middle term factorization, everything, and then the quadrats issue. So now this is what we are looking as a trig equation. So let's get started with this. SB part 1, S plus 2C, 1 plus S minus C. This is S common, 1 plus C. You have to simplify it. It's not an identity. You have to expand. So now let's multiply S into 1, S into S, S into C. That is S plus S square minus SC. Then 2C into 1, 2C into S, 2C into C. That is 2C plus 2CS minus 2C square. And then S into 1, S into C. That is S plus SC. So now let's take everything on one side. First of all, we have S, we have 2C, we have S, and first get rid of the S, that cancels out. I'm left with 2C. That is the first thing. Now let me choose negative SC plus 2SC plus SC. So now this is negative SC plus 2CS negative SC or CS SC. Negative, negative, this thing again cancels out. So this thing is also gone. Now what am I left with? I'm left with positive S squared minus 2C squared. So this is positive S square minus 2C square. This equals to 0. So now they want an equation completely in terms of cos. So they want it in terms of cos. This is all good. This is all good. This needs to be changed. 2c minus 2c square plus s square will be written as 1 minus c square is equals to 0. Negative 3c square, this 2c square and this thing, negative 3c square plus 2c plus 1 equals to 0. 3c square minus 2c minus 1 equals to 0. Let's double check. 3c square minus 2c minus 1 equals to 0. All good, all clear. How many marks have I attained? 3 marks. All good. So now the next thing, I need another page over here. And let's solve this thing. So now B part 2. So now we have the same thing is reduced to 3c square minus 2c minus 1 equals to 0. Yes, I think it can be done through middle term factorization. 3c square minus 3c plus c minus 1 equals to 0. This is 3c c minus 1 plus 1 c minus 1 equals to 0. C minus 1, 3c plus 1 equals to 0. Therefore, c is positive 1. Therefore, c is negative 1/3. That is the first thing. Now, the range is from negative 180 to positive 180. So now the range is basically in two parts. Negative 180 degrees to 0 degrees to 180 degrees. That is the range. When c is positive 1, what I can do is that I can draw a very small sketch. And just like what we did in one of the questions above. So now this is like this. Actually, it's the same sketch. And over here, let me use green color. Okay. So now what do I need? Hold for a second. So this is cos x equals to 1. This is negative 180, the one that we drew earlier, that was in radians. This one is in degrees and nothing else. This is maximum value 1. This is minimum value negative 1. Cos is 1. So cos is 1 only once. That is what symbol are they using? Theta. So therefore, theta is 0 degrees. That is one answer. Cos is negative 1/3. Now quadrants, cos is negative. That means it's in the second and the third quadrant. That is the first thing. Basic angle, cosine alpha is 1/3 alpha. Let me get this value of this basic angle. So now calculator 1 divided by 3, shift cos inverse. This is, no, I'm not interested in radians, my bad. So now this is shift cos inverse 1 divided by 3 bracket closed. This is 70.53 degrees. 70.53 degrees. Now let's play quadrants, quadrants. So let me just go back a little bit down. I'll copy it. I'll paste it over here. And second quadrant, that is over here. And third quadrant, that is over here. Now look at the range. X lies between this thing. Okay, let me just. Okay, so now over here, for the second quadrant, go anti-clockwise. Second quadrant, go anti-clockwise. Theta is 180 minus alpha. For the third quadrant, go clockwise because it's not from 0 till 360, it's 0 till negative 180. This is third. This is anti-clockwise. This is clockwise. This is a reflection of the above. This is also 180 degrees minus alpha, but with a negative sign. Why? Because if this is alpha, let me label this thing. The basic angle is alpha. Okay, this is basic angle alpha. This is theta. Basic angle is alpha. This is theta. It's the same thing as above, except that it has a negative sign because of clockwise. So now subtract it from 180. This comes out to be 109.47, 109.5. So theta is 109.5 degrees. This is one answer, and then the other answer is negative 109.5 degrees. And then there was this answer, 0 degrees. These are the values of theta. There is 0, 109.5, negative 109.5. That's how this thing is done. Okay. I think, yes, there are more questions like this. Yes, someone asked for this. So let me show you this particular question. Just go through this question again. Let me charge my pencil. The diagram shows the graphs of y is equals to sine x and y is equals to 2 cos x, so much of cos x, between negative pi and positive pi. So this is exactly the same thing, this one, that I just drew, and you can have a pretty good idea. This one goes like this. And this one is like this. And this one was the same thing, like this. Okay. So now the other one is sine x. Okay. So now the question says, the diagram shows the graph. The graphs intersect at point A and B. Find the x coordinate of A, find the y coordinate of B. Simple equation. First of all, let's write it down. Sine x is equals to 2 cos x. Sine x is equals to 2 cos x. You cannot take common. So what should you do? Divide both sides by cos x. In other words, sine over cos is tan, tangent x is equals to 2. Start the process. This is the first quadrant, that is the third quadrant. Tan is positive in these two. But remember, we are going from minus pi to positive pi. Range of x is between negative pi to positive pi. Basic angle, tangent of alpha is 2, alpha is. So now you have to be in the radian mode. And tan inverse of 2, that comes out to be 1.1071. 1.1071, that is the value of alpha. Now, divide this thing into two parts, that grid thing. Over here, let me change, no, not this thing, and over here. Now, we are interested in 0 till pi. So, x lies between 0 till pi. That is the first two quadrants. That is anti-clockwise. And negative pi till 0 or 0 till negative pi, whichever way you want to write it, that is clockwise. We are interested in first and third quadrant. So in the first quadrant, we are focusing over here. In the third quadrant, we are focusing over here. Over here, theta equals to alpha. Over here, we are going this way. That is a reflection of the this quadrant. Just like this was a reflection. Where is that question? This one. This one got reflected over here. So the second quadrant is like the third quadrant. Over here, this third quadrant will be like the second quadrant. Again, the basic angle is alpha. This is theta. And therefore, theta is 180 degrees minus alpha, but with a negative sign because we are going clockwise. What is alpha? 1.1071. Instead of 180, this is pi because it's in radians. So this is pi over here. Theta is 1.1071, which will be simplified to 1.11 radian. This is 3SF. And over here, theta is equals to the difference, pi minus alpha minus 3.142. This is 2.034, 2.034, 03485, rounded off 2.03 radians, 3SF. Uh, okay, I think this is some other answer maybe. Tangent x is 2, x is 1.11 with no negatives, with no additional solutions. Oh, first of all, it was asking the x coordinate of A. So A is this one. This is A. Why? Because the x coordinate of A is positive and they're interested in the y coordinate. So y coordinate of B, that is negative. X coordinate of B is negative. Yahan tak it's all good, negative 2.03. They're interested in the y coordinate of B. So y coordinate of B, sine x is 2 cos x. So just evaluate sine of negative 2.03. Unrounded value 2.03485. 2.03485. And this is negative. And let me evaluate sine of this. Okay, I think I just pressed the wrong button. Sine of negative 2.03485. So this is 0.894 negative. This is negative 0.894. That is the y value, which makes perfect sense because we can see it from the graph. The x coordinate of y is negative. The y coordinate is also negative. This is x coordinate of B. This is y coordinate of B. This is x coordinate of A. So we want the positive, the x coordinate of A, the y coordinate of B. And that is the answer. So I think that's enough of trigonometry. Binomial expansion. Let's focus a little bit on this one. So this is 1028. Approximately, we have studied for 75 minutes non-stop. When we talk about series, there are three things that we talk about. We talk about this thing, that is binomial. And then the rest of the thing, we talk about AP and GP. So now let's first talk about binomial. So now in binomial, let's look at this question. Find the first three terms in the expansion in ascending powers of x. Whenever the first term is a constant, it will be in ascending powers. The first three terms in expansion of in ascending powers of x in this one. And then hence find the coefficient of x squared. Not all the terms in these two. That's a very traditional kind of a question, nothing special, just revision purposes. 1 plus x raised to power of 5, first three terms. That is 5c0. I could have written 1 directly. 1 raised to power of 0, 5c1. My bad. It's not 1, it's x. X raised to power of 0. This is x raised to power of 1. And then 5c2, x raised to power of 2. This is 1. This is 5x. 5c2 is 10x squared. There are many more terms, but we are just interested in the first three terms. 1 minus 2x raised to power of 6. 1 minus 2x raised to power of 6. That is 6c0, negative 2x raised to power of 0. And then it's 6c1, negative 2x raised to power of 1. This is 6c2. This is negative 2x raised to power of 2, and so on. Take care of the positive negative sign. The first one is positive, 6c1 is 6. This is negative 2x. 6c2, that is 15. And this is 4x squared, and so on. This is 1 minus 12x plus 60x squared. Let's double check. 1, 5, 10, 1 minus 12, 60. 1, 5, 10, 1 minus 12, 60. Perfect. Multiply it out to get coefficient of x squared. Part C. This is 1 plus x raised to power of 5. This is 1 minus 2x raised to power of 6. This is 1 minus 12x plus 60x squared. This is 1, 5, and 10. 1 plus 5x plus 10x squared. Multiply selectively. We are interested in coefficient of x squared. So therefore, multiply this 1 with this 60. That is this first thing. Second thing, multiply this 10 with this one. Again, x squared into constant. Last, multiply the x and the x term together. So 1 into 60, and then 5 into negative 12, and then 10 into 1. This is 60, this is negative 60, this is 10. Overall, it's 10. Yes, the answer is 10. So this thing is also done. Read this question now. Let me check my WhatsApp. The coefficient of x in the expansion of this thing is p. The coefficient of 1 over x is q. Given that p is 6q, find the possible values of k. Now, this is the question of that three-step method. So now let me write it over here. 4x plus 10 over x raised to power of, let me draw the bracket nicely, raised to power of 3. And over here, this is 2x plus k over x squared raised to power of 5. We are interested in coefficient of x. We are interested in coefficient of 1 over x. Over here, the concept is NCR, a raised to power of n minus r, b raised to power of r. NCR, a raised to power of n minus r, b raised to power of r. That is 3CR, a is 4x, and this is 10x minus 1 raised to power of r. This is 3 minus r. I'm doing it side by side. This is 5CR. This is kx minus 2 raised to power of r. This is 2x raised to power of 5 minus r. Power of x is 1. Power of x is 1. Now let's do some selection. So this 1 gets multiplied with this negative 1 gets multiplied with this 1 gets multiplied with this multiplies with this. So now I'll just be focusing on this one. The power of x over here is 1. 1 into 3 minus r. This is minus 1 into r equal to 1. Equated to the power of required term. Calculate and gather powers of x and equate it to the power of the required term. 3 minus r is 1, minus 2r is minus 2r is 1. So therefore, this is 3c1, 4x raised to power of 3 minus 1, and this is 10 over x raised to power of 1. So this is 3, this is 4 square, this is 4 square, this is x square, this is 10, this is x. So 4 square is 16, 16 into 3 is 48, 480x, the coefficient is 480. Over here, this is 1 into 5 minus r. This is negative 2 into r equals to negative 1. 1 over x is x raised to power of negative 1. All good? So now just focus. 5 minus r minus 2r is negative 1. Negative 3r is negative 6. R comes out to be 2. Plug r where it belongs. That is 5c2. 2x raised to power of 5 minus 2 is 3. And this is k over x squared raised to power of 2. 5c2 is 10. 2 cube x cube k square 1 over x4. And over here, this is 2 cube is 8. 8 into 10 is 80. 80k square. This is 1 over x. So now this is the coefficient of x. This is the coefficient of 1 over x. This one is p. So coefficient of x is, hold for a second. Coefficient of x is p. Coefficient of 1 over x is q. So this one is p. This one is q. And they are saying p is 6q. So p and this is q and this is 6. P is 6q. So 480 is 6 times 80k square. 480, 480 cancel. 1 is equals to k square. Therefore, k is positive, negative 1. Are they asking for the possible values? Yes. All good, all clear? So I think 2 questions are more than enough for binomial. AP and GP. Let's look at the first question. Now, this is the last of that 5 PDFs. First one was coordinate, second circular, third trigonometry, fourth binomial, fifth is AP, GP combined together. Just go through this. So now trig was 3 and binomial 4. Last coming up is 5 is AP, GP. Okay, so I hope it's all good, all clear. AS2, AS1. Now it says the nth term of an arithmetic progression is this much. So it's not the sum formula, it's the Tn formula. We have done questions like this in which the sum formula was given. So now Tn is half bracket 3n minus 15. Find the value of n for which the sum of the first n terms is 84. But I don't know what the first term is. I don't know what the common difference is. If I choose n as 1, T1, that is the first term, that is half 3 into 1 minus 15, negative 12 over 2, that is negative 6. If I choose n as 2, T2, that is half 3 into 2 minus 15, 6 minus 15, negative 9 divided by 2, negative 4.5. That means the first term is negative 6, second one is negative 4.5, and so on. So first term is 6. Common difference is T2 minus T1 minus 4.5 minus 6, negative 4.5 plus 6, that is 1.5. So these are the two things that you needed. The rest is just the same old story. Find the value of n for which the sum is 84. So Sn is n divided by 2, 2a, n minus 1 into d, 84, n divided by 2, 2a, a is negative 6. Let me just write it correctly. There is a negative over here. 2 into negative 6, n minus 1 into 1.5. Simplify it further. Open it up. 2 into 168 is n, negative 12, plus 1.5 n minus 1.5. 168 is n, 1.5 n minus 13.5. Open up the bracket. 1.5 n square minus 13.5 n minus 168 is equals to 0. 3n square minus 27, 320 and 16, 336. Minus 336 is equals to 0. So 3n square minus 27n minus 336 is equals to 0. I think it's wiser to use quadratic formula. And you'll be getting two values. One value might be a fraction or negative, discard it. If n is fraction, n is negative, discard. Unless it's a question of exceeding. So when we are looking for exact value, this is not possible. Therefore, choose n as an integer. So the value of n comes out to be 60. That is the working for this one. Another question, trigonometry with what you call APGP. Read the first question. Someone has asked a question. The first term of the progression is sine squared theta. Theta lies between 0 and pi by 2. The second term of the progression is this thing. Given that the progression is geometric. Now, first of all, they're asking from the perspective of geometric, find the sum to infinity. And over here, the knowledge is this thing, that sum to infinity exists when common ratio lies between 1 and minus 1. If it's asking for convergent, that means it's related to sum to infinity, and convergent relates to common ratio lies between negative 1 and positive 1. Now, let me just copy this thing on the next page also. Now it says the first term is sine squared theta, T1. That is sine squared theta. T2, that is sine squared cos squared. Common ratio, T2 over T1. So therefore, this we are left with cos squared theta. Sum to infinity, a over 1 minus r. A is sine squared theta. 1 minus r, 1 minus cos squared theta. Now comes in trigonometry. Sine square plus cos square is 1. Sine square is 1 minus cos square. So 1 minus cos square is basically sine square. Sine square over sine square is 1. Sum to infinity is 1. What a beautiful question. A simple question, no use of the calculator. Double check the value. Sine squared theta is 1. Sum to infinity is 1. The next question. Now it says it is now given. It is now given. That means they have reverted back from the first part. The first paragraph is still there. The first paragraph is applicable for everything. This is there. That is fixed. Now it says it is given instead that the progression is arithmetic. So it's not geometric anymore, it is arithmetic. Now, what are they asking? They are asking find the common difference in terms of sine theta, find the sum of first 16 terms when theta is pi by 3. So first of all, what we will do is that T1 is sine square. T2, let me just double check. T2 is sine square cos square. Common difference, T2 minus T1. That is sine square cos square minus sine square. That can be written as sine square common cos square minus 1. We just saw 1 minus cos square is sine square. That means negative sine square is cos square minus 1. Got it? So therefore, this thing is replaced. Cos square minus 1 is negative sine square. There is a sine square on the outside. That is negative sine power 4 theta. This is the common difference. So this is B part 1. B part 2. Find the sum of the first 16 terms. T1, first term, that is sine square theta, which means sine theta, the whole thing square. Theta is pi by 3. This is sine pi by 3 whole square. That is root 3 over 2 whole square. That is 3 over 4. So the first term is 3/4. The common difference is negative sine power 4 theta. Common difference is negative sine power 4 theta. Negative on the outside, sine square theta square. I can write it like this. Sine square theta is just over here. That is negative sine pi by 3 square square. That is negative 3/4 square. That is negative 9 over 16. So common difference is negative 9 over 16. That is it. And this one is positive 3/4. Once you have done these two things, now it's just the formula. Sum of n terms, that is n divided by 2, 2a, n minus 1 into d, S16, just double check. S16, yes. First term S 3/4. So this is 16 divided by 2, 2, 3/4, n minus 1, that is 15, d is minus 9 over 16. Use a calculator and then evaluate this answer. No need of adventurism over here. Do not try it yourself. Let the calculator do the job. Okay. Now, let's look at this question. What is this question all about? This is a plus bx raised to power of 7. It's a beautiful combination of binomial and APGP. This is binomial and GP. So now, let's read it out. It says in the expansion of a plus bx raised to power of 7, the coefficient of x, x squared, and x4. A plus bx raised to power of 7. It's not a three-step formula because there is nothing in the reciprocal, something like that. It is obvious. The coefficient of x. So how will you find the coefficient of x? Coefficient of x would be 7c1. This is bx raised to power of 1, a raised to power of 7. We will simplify it. Coefficient of x squared. How will you find coefficient of x squared? 7c2. bx raised to power of 2, a raised to power of 5. How will you find coefficient of x4? 7c4. A raised to power of something, bx raised to power of 4, 7 minus 4 is 3. These are the three things that you're looking for. 7c1 is 7. This is a7, this is bx. 7c2, 7 and 6 is 42, divide by 2, that is 21. This is a power 5, b square, x square. 7c4, that is 7c3, 765. This is 3, 2, 1. So 6, 6 cancel, 7, 5, 35. This is 35 a cube b power 4 x 4. Now they are saying the first, second, third, respectively, of a geometric progression. So now the coefficients, that is 7a, 7b. The next one, that is 21a, 5b square. The third one, 35a cube b4. Find the value of a over b. Okay, so you just have to simplify it. So now over here, this is like the first term, this is second term, third term of a GP. So this is GP, GP, GP. They were different terms of binomial, but altogether, when we talk from the perspective of GP, these are the first three terms. So common ratio, that is 21 a power 5 b square divided by 7 a7 b power 1, that is 35 a cube b power 4 divided by 21 a power 5 b square. Now simplify first. 7 ones are 7 threes are 7 threes are 7 fives are. B square, take all the a's on one side. Let me do this. So if I take all the a's on one side, this is a power 5, a power 7, that a cube, a power 5 goes up, a cube goes down. Take all the b's on one side. So this is, there is a 3 over here. There is a 5 over 3 over here. This is 3 over 1. This is 5 over 3. This is b4, b square, that was already there. This b goes at the top. This b square goes at the bottom. Now, let's simplify. This is 5 and 5, that is 10. How come it's cancelling out? It shouldn't. Let me just double check. This is a5b square, good. This is a7b1. a7b1, all good. This is a cube b4, that's good. A cube b4, a5b square, a5b square. This is a5, this is a7. This a cube goes down, a5 goes up. And this is b4, b square, b4, b square. This is b goes up, b square goes down. B goes up, b square goes up. This is power 5, this is power 4. Something is missing. Can anyone take a screenshot and let me know what is missing over here? The first term, the second x square and x4. 7c1, 7c2, 7c4. This is good. Bx, and this is 6. Got the idea? This is 6, my bad. How come? Because it was not possible for this to be missed out. So now this is 6. So now 7, this is 6. Got it? And I think it's all good. So now a5, a6. Because if a were to be cancelling out, how can you get the ratio? Okay, all good. So now let's simplify. This is 3. This is 5 plus 5 is 10. 6 plus 3 is 9. This is 3a. This is 4. This is 1. That is 5. This is 4. That is 5 over 3b. So therefore, a over b, that is 5 over 3 into 3. That is a over b is 5 over 9. So be very, very careful with this working. So that is another question that we did. A simple basic question. A GP is such that the second term is equals to 24% of the sum to infinity. AR square, and so on. Sum to infinity is A over 1 minus R. The second term, AR, is 24%. 24 over 100, sum to infinity, A over 1 minus R. So AA will cancel out. This is R, 24 over 100, 12 over 50, and that is 6 over 25. 6 over 25, 1 over 1 minus R. cross multiply, that is r, 1 minus r, 25 is 6. R minus r square into 25 is 6. 25r minus 25r square minus 6 is equals to 0. 25r square minus 25r plus 6 is equals to 0. 25 into 6 is 150. So 15 into 10. So 25r square minus 15r minus 10r plus 6 is equals to 0. And then I can take what common? 5 common. And this is 5r minus 3. I can take 2 common. This is 5r minus 3 is equals to 0. This is 5r minus 3. And over here, this is 5r taken common. 5r minus 2 is equals to 0. Therefore, r is 3/5. Therefore, r is 2/5. R is 3/5. R is 2/5. Yes, all good. Now, another question. An arithmetic progression P has first term A, common difference D. There is P and there is D. Hold for a second. So now this is P. It has first term A, common difference D. Then there is another progression. This is also AP. Okay, both are AP. It has the first term 2A plus 2, 2 bracket A plus 1, and common difference D plus 1. It is given that this is the ratio, sum, term, something like that. So let me write over here. And this thing. Now, first of all, this is P, this is Q. First term is A, common difference is D. First term is 2A plus 2, common difference is D plus 1. Fifth term of P, that is, this is of P, so just let me write T5, that is A plus 4D. And then we have the 12th term of Q, 12th term of Q, that is A plus 11D. Fifth term is divided by 12 is 1/3, 3 times fifth. 3 times fifth is 1 times 12. So therefore, this is 3 times A plus 4D is A plus 11D. This is equation 1. Sum of first 5 terms. Sum of 5 terms, that is 5 divided by 2. 2A n minus 1, that is 4D. And sum of first 5 terms of Q, that is sum of first 5 terms of Q, that is 5 divided by 2, 2A. 2 into something, n minus 1, that is 4 into D. D is D plus 1, and A is 2A plus 2. And then cross multiply 3 times sum of 5 terms of P is 2 times sum of 5 terms of Q. 3 times term 5 of P is 12 term of this. Okay, 3 times 5P. 3 times 5P. Let me just color code it so that there is no mistake. So this is 5. This is sum of 5. This is 12. This is sum of 5. Okay. So now 3 times sum of 5P. So 3 times sum of 5P is equals to 5, 2 times sum of 5Q. 2 times sum of 5Q. So therefore 3 times 5 over 2, 2A plus 40. 2 times 5 over 2, 2 times 2A, that is 4A plus 4, and this is 4D plus 4. And then we can right away cancel the 5 over 2, 5 over 2, cancel it out, simplify. So now this is equation 2. This is equation 1. You solve it simultaneously, you get the answer. All got all clear? This is more or less like the same thing. Let me do this last question over here. It says a tool for putting fence post on the ground is called a post rammer. The distances in millimeter that the post sinks into the ground on each impact of the post rammer follows a geometric progression. The first three impacts are 50, 40, 32, respectively. These are the first three terms. So this is T1, this is T2, this is T3. Verify. You don't have to calculate, you have to prove it. Verify that the ninth impact is the first in which the post sinks less than 10 millimeter into the ground. That means the eighth impact is not that. The ninth impact is the one. Okay. Then it says find to the nearest millimeter the total depth of the post in the ground after 20 impacts. Okay. This is something to do with sum. Find the greatest total depth in the ground which could theoretically be achieved. This is sum to infinity because it means infinite number of times the post hammer has been it's being pushed into the ground. So now over here, let's do part B first. So part B, find to the nearest millimeter the total depth. First of all, the first term is 50. Common ratio is 40 over 50 or 0.8. That is the thing. After 20 impacts, n is 20. Therefore, sum of n terms, let me write the general formula first. That is a1 minus r power n over 1 minus r. So s of 20, that is 50. 1 minus 0.8 raised to power of 20 over 1 minus 0.8. We will soon check the answer. Part C, greatest total depth, that is sum to infinity, that is a over 1 minus r. Theoretically, that is 50 over 1 minus 0.8. That is 50 over 0.2. That is 500 over 2. Removing the decimals, that comes out to be 250 millimeter. That is the theoretical. So this I haven't calculated. This is very obvious. Let's double check. So that is 247 and this is 250. So this is 247 and this must be 3SF and this 250 is exact. Let me copy this thing and then do part one. There is no harm. You can do in any order. Verify that on the ninth impact. So now over here, first term is 50. Common ratio is 0.8. Let me find the eighth term, and I would like you people to use the calculator. That is AR7. Let me find the ninth term, that is AR8. So AR7, that is 50 into 0.8 raised to power of 7. Give me this value. T9, that is 50 into 0.8 raised to power of 8 and give me this value. Let me use my calculator also. So this is nothing to do with radian. 0.8 raised to power of 7 into 50. This comes out to be 10.485. 10.485. And this is 0.8 again. This is 8.388. So now, after the eighth impact, it goes down 10.485. After the ninth impact, it goes lesser than this. So yes, T9 is the first time that the post hammer goes deeper than 10 millimeter into the ground because this is T8 is greater than 10, whereas T9 is lesser than 10. So yes, we have verified it. So that is how this question is done. That is how we end the session. So almost 2 hours of 5 topics, all done and dusted. Take care, everyone.